Instagram. All right, now let me go to Instagram.
This be the awkward moment.
Yeah, for real, for real.
I did not know you could hear us. So you hear us every time me and Beth just sitting here talking?
Yes,
I'm weak.
I just don't be saying nothing.
That's
Well,
wild.
welcome in everyone. This is Three Takes. We got a special guest today. Goes by the name of Big Al. Welcome in, Big A.
What's going on, y'all?
Um, and as you know, normally you got me, Shawnee, and the Don as well. So I mean, since Beloved's not here, I got to keep our tradition going of how's everyone's doing, how's everyone's day.
I'm feeling pretty smooth per usual. Feel me? That's all.
It's cool. Mine's cool. I'm tired. I hit the gym though, so I'm kind of
Okay,
just kind of winding down. But overall,
that's
it's
what's
been a
up.
good day though.
What you work on?
Today was deadlift day, heavy deadlift. So
Okay,
mainly just hamstrings, lower back. So yeah.
Okay.
that's what's up.
Let's see that. Let's see that.
Man, listen. If I could, I'd take the sweat off. I feel you, but we're gonna keep it concealed right now. We're gonna keep it concealed right now.
We're gonna keep it PG.
Yeah.
Wait, well, good to see y'all getting in the gym because I ain't do none of that today. So I need to get like y'all.
You used to take
Um,
your walks.
yeah, but today was cold. I ain't gonna lie. Like I had a lazy day. Uh,
Mm.
I like being off Sunday, Mondays because Monday is really a it can be a productive or a lazy day for me. But since it was so cold, like it even snowed here for a little bit. It ain't nothing like y'all got in Ohio though. But you see that Al, like it snowed some flurries for a second.
Yeah, it was for I was when I was working, I was in Columbia today and it was snowing for a little minute. It was snowing, but I was shocked because I was really shocked because it was just sunny a couple days ago. Like,
Right.
Yeah, and I didn't see
but
nothing. I mean, I don't look at the weather like that, but I didn't see nothing in the weather for snow. So I was like, "Oh shit, it's snowing!" And it was cold. Like, it was
it was
windy.
freezing. Yeah.
That's why I was not out there trying to walk. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, man, I gotta get used to this. This weather just smacked us in the face. Like I wasn't ready for it. But then it's gonna go back up to like the 60s like this week, I believe.
I was about to say I seen that. I'm like, yeah, people
So
finna
this is
get sick.
yeah. I hate the change of weather, like going back and forth, back and forth. But yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of mostly been chill today. Um, Not really getting too much accomplished. I mean, besides laundry, like it's my lazy day. Lounge around and get ready for the headache I'm about to go into tomorrow. So, had a good weekend watching football though, which takes us into our topic today. Uh, Marshawn Kneeland, everyone has heard about it. You know, football player for the Dallas Cowboys, committed suicide. Um, what was it? It was about like 3 days ago or something like that. Pretty recent. Uh, and it's got a lot of attention because I think people are really starting to realize how serious it could be when you think someone's kind of just, you know, they're cool, but people show signs a lot, but people like to ignore those signs. So I liked how the NFL took this opportunity to kind of highlight that a little bit because they did a moment of silence like during every game, like let's do a moment of silence for Marshawn Kneeland or whatever, and then afterwards the announcer would say like call 1-800 blah 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 or whatever it is for like if you're feeling suicidal, and was like making sure to like highlight that this is a sign to like really check on people, check on your people, like if they or if you're feeling some type of way, talk to somebody, don't just hold it all in. And but yeah, so what are your thoughts on the situation with him and everything?
Uh, I'm still trying to figure out. Like I read that he got pulled over. Whoop de whoop. He ran. He fled, and somewhere in the midst of that, he killed himself. But where in that story that they knew he had mental issues? Like, did his family members say this?
His
What?
girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Was he
Uh,
diagnosed with bipolar, schizophrenia, depression?
that's a good question because I don't know if he had any like medical conditions that were like official like that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually look into that. Al, do you know?
No, I haven't um, heard anything along that lines.
Oh, I only asked that question because based off what I'm reading, it just seemed like he just reached his max capacity of everything's probably just too much for him. Him getting pulled over was probably that max. Like, bruh, I'm tired. I'm sick of it. I'm exhausted, burnt out. I just want to be done with the world. So yeah, I mean, like you said, we out here suppressing a lot of things. A lot of people are suppressing stuff because they feel like they have no one to turn to, nobody to talk to, nobody understands them, or they're the person that everybody lean on, and then they have nobody else to lean on, so they just keep hold it in. So it's very unfortunate that he had to go through that. But y'all know how I feel about mental health. It's the number one priority on my list because I'm around a lot of people that are taking antidepressants, having mental breakdowns. So mental health is like the biggest thing to me, and it should be the number one thing in this industry of entertainment, sports, and everything. It's like somebody they'll kill themselves and they move on like it's normal. That crap ain't normal. Like it should be talked about more. So
Yeah, I agree. I also have some family members who dealt with mental illness, so it definitely is a touchy subject. But at the same time, I think it depends on the individual, because I believe personally that um, men specifically deal with a lot of suppressing. Um, we can call it pride. We can call it the lack of uh, mentorship, because growing up as men, we're taught to not really show emotion like that. Even in relationships with women, you can get in a relationship with a woman and they're like, "Oh, you're a crybaby. You know what I'm saying? You emotional, so on and so
You
forth."
saw.
Yeah, you soft. So growing up, it's like a trial and error, and you'll kind of base your life on those type of trials and errors. But ultimately, man, I think your community matters. Your community matters, but yeah, mental illness is something we really don't expect people to have that in our community. You know what I'm saying? Once COVID hit, I think the awareness of that came to the forefront, but it's always been here though.
I agree. I think, like you said, it's always been here, but I think our cultural, it just kind of like brushed it under the rug. Like I said, that we think it's normal.
Mm,
Like we should be mentally strong. We should push forward, which we should have resilience. I'm not. We should, but I think people have a certain level to where they reach that max, and
mm,
then it's when they end it all. And I do think COVID brought it out more because we were sitting there with our thoughts more often
hmm
and our emotions more often.
And fear,
Yeah.
because you was hearing bodies dropping left and right.
Mm,
So fear can play a big part in that too.
yeah.
Well, I think that's a good thing. People need to be able to sit with themselves. I think that's the problem
No,
with
that's.
people these days.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like everyone, like we was talking about on the last episode last week, like when the Wi-Fi had went out or whatever, or the power goes out, like people don't know what to do with themselves. And I'm like, you got to be able to just, you got to be content with your own. I feel like, something's wrong spiritually if you can't sit with yourself. You know what I mean? Like you got some things you need to work on and solve. Uh, and if you're thinking dark thoughts or whatever when you're alone, like there's a problem. Like you're suppressing some things, and you need to work on that problem instead of ignoring it. Um, and I feel like men struggle with that a lot because we don't get to, like he was saying, like if you express yourself, then it's seen as a feminine trait or you're soft. Like you don't ever really get that safe space to really do that. Um, and then by the time people realize, that a guy's going through something and it's too much, then it's too late. Just like with this individual. What shocks me though is that like his girlfriend knew that he could be the type to do it. So I'm like, well, what were you doing, as his woman to help him out? that's kind of where my mind goes to immediately because I'm like, well, you knew he would be he could end it all. Like, why weren't you more involved?
Maybe she was, but she just didn't know how to um, have an answer for the solution. Sometimes we are beyond people's capacity. You know what I'm saying? So um, hopefully she probably tried her best because being an NFL player is probably some tough work. Um, so the the physicality of the game is already straining enough. You know what I'm saying? And then if him and her was always having odds, that can cause it's so many different variables. But I think ultimately she probably tried her best. She just probably didn't know what to do, especially if she was younger and inexperienced. I don't know her age. So
True.
a lot of times people, man, they're coddled, and then when they get to a certain lifestyle, they just like a deer in headlights. They don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's growing up. That's what I'm learning with my kids. I'm trying to teach them things I didn't get taught in the culture growing up. You know what I'm saying? It's more than just about surviving. It's about being aware.
That's a good point though because that's what a lot of people in our culture they're just growing up trying to survive. They don't know how to. They don't know anything outside of that. Um, and that's why I'm at the point in my life where I can't even really be around someone that's like that. You know what I mean? If you're just, it can be prejudging a little bit, but you can tell when someone is just like raised off that survival thing and it ain't really escaped them yet. And I feel like after a certain amount of time, like it's not going to escape you. You know what I mean? Like if you in your 30s, pushing 40s, and you ain't really changed your ways, probably ain't really going nowhere. So, which brings me to your point earlier, what you said that I like finding your community. I think that's what a lot of black men struggle with a lot, finding a good community, and not just being around whatever was around by default. So, and not growing out of that. So I wish people would like speak more about that, like really building your own community and like doing what's good for you and like being able to still grow and not just be stagnant with the community that you were forced to be a part of.
I agree. I'm kind of on the same wave as you, Shawnee. I'm been trying to find my tribe, my new tribe. Uh,
Hmm.
the whole survival thing is for like we created it for protection, but it does get
Hmm.
to a point where you do have to grow and evolve out of that, and then come into your wholeness and becoming and stuff like that. And like Big Al said, awareness, being aware, healing wounds, healing certain things. So I agree. Like the community thing, it should be we should have more people around like that's on that way, but it's not. It's like very slim pickings. So even the people we have around us, we just have to really just take what they say with a grain of salt. Because I feel like being around too many negative people and people that's just trying to bring you down and not lift you up can be very overwhelming. So I have boundaries on people that's still in survival in their survival mindset. I mean, I have boundaries. Like it's certain things I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear that today. Like,
Yeah, because that can weigh on you when they bring all that shit towards you.
yeah,
Yeah, people don't understand the what is the word I'm looking for? The baggage they come with.
yeah.
Emotional baggage, like that's a thing. People don't even realize when they got all that on them. But
Mhm.
I'm quick to detect it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, that's a lot. Let me only mess with you on a certain level because I don't want to get pulled into that shit, and then now it's my shit. Like
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a
wait.
lot. But I wish it just sucks because, like, speaking back on him, like, because men, it's harder for us to even find a community uh, unless you're an open person and you're open to doing things. Like, I don't know, but for an example, like for a hobby, I think that's ways to find a community. Like, find a hobby that you like. Unfortunately, hobbies that let's say that black guys normally like, black dudes, us, basketball. You know what I mean? Like it's like that's kind of like the only hobby they like to go towards. Oh,
Yeah.
let's hoop, and that doesn't really expose them to uh better people, if that makes sense. Because that's keeping them around what they know and what they grew up around.
Y'all just
Me,
need more community like circles or something like that. Like y'all meeting up. Cause like y'all said, y'all don't have a safe space to talk about certain things.
exactly,
And then the guys y'all probably have around are talking about stuff y'all don't want to hear about. Probably
exactly.
their problems. So it definitely needs to be a community, y'all just getting together and just because basketball is kind of a distraction. You playing a sport.
Hmm.
I want to say something therapeutic, but y'all don't like to lean towards therapy either.
I feel like that's only an immature guy that don't want to lean towards therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, even though I'm not in therapy, I definitely would do therapy. I just ain't did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like once you get to that point where you kind of want to be the best version of yourself, you'll be open to stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of maturity as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if it was like more, I do think it needs to be like more men's groups,
Mm-hmm.
like not making it weird, but just like being like a real like men like support. I don't want to say support because that makes it sound weak in a way, but you know what I mean, like a men's
Nah, it
support group.
is. It
It's a
is support, bro. Yeah, it's support because you watch the show The Shy. You ever seen The Shy?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh man, well, I'm gonna tell you this anyway. They have scenes to where there's nothing but a group of guys sitting in a circle talking real life. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think they was trying to bring awareness to our community by showing, hey, this is what it looks like for men to support men in a masculine way. But ultimately, like for me, I grew up in church. So I was always going to surround myself with a different group of people. Um, so like for me right now, my circle, they like hunting, they like fishing, they like talking about life, they like talking about marriage, they like talking about all that stuff because I've had this mindset of I always want to connect myself with people who's been there and done that. You know what I'm saying? Who's been where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on you and your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's because we like to indulge in pleasure more than growth. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's easy for everybody to go out kicking on the weekend because we finna have a good time instead of that, hey, let's come over and get this business plan jumping. Sometimes it's a lack of trust. People are skeptical. That's why men are open up, man. Skeptical, doubting, like they had trust issues. You might take the information, run with it, and hurt them all over again. So ultimately, man, I just think men of all race should really open up and not feel afraid to let another man into that vulnerable part of your mind. So, but it gotta be the right person though, because you
yeah.
don't want to open up to the wrong dude. He feeding you the wrong advice
Hmm.
because he miserable. You know what I'm saying? He wants you to sit on the couch with him in misery. So I think it really you have to sit back and ask yourself, who do I want to be? Who do I want to connect with? And how can I open myself up?
That part.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was
I'm
just
sorry.
laughing,
My
but
kids, man, my kids. And I got three toddlers, so y'all might hear that throughout the night. It's getting close to bedtime.
no, I heard. But I think that's it's good though because a lot of I feel like it's getting normalized for those type of conversations to be had finally. Um, I just think it's not moving fast enough in our community um, because it's just like everyone. I think a lot of men just really live off of, or what is the word I'm looking for? Like they really put a lot of weight into what they feel is masculine and what's not. So in our community, I think we struggle with that a lot. So that's a barrier they got to kind of overcome to even get to the point as a community that we got to overcome, black community, to even normalize completely like the whole like talking about what's going on the inside of you. You know what I mean? Because most people that look like us, and we've talked about this before on this show, like grew up with some type of, well, everybody has like something that's not so great while growing up or something. And
Mhm.
black men struggle the most with overcoming that because you'll see some people that's still hurting about that in their 60s. You know what I mean? I'm like, it. I know some stuff you never truly get over, but to still be letting that like affect like the way you are as a person, like that's crazy. So I think men like because damn, forgot what I was saying. More mental health groups and stuff like that needs to be normalized in our community. That's I'm saying all that to say that.
I think
But
it
I don't know how that
can.
can happen.
It can happen with it just takes one or two brothers, man, to show consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in the gym. For me, I've been what 4 or 5 months in the gym. In the first 2 3 months, I'm not seeing nothing. The whole time under all the issues, muscles was growing. You know what I'm saying? Things was coming together. And then over time, when you stay consistent, you'll start to see the progress. You know what I'm saying? It'll show itself. So I think if you get a good group of people that has a good reputation, first of all,
Mhm.
and they show themselves consistent, I think slowly it's like a snowball effect. You know what I'm saying? But they have to have a good reputation. They have to.
Yeah, because I feel like to be a leader, to lead something like that, you have to lead by example. So to create a space like that, men, women, everybody should have like empathy and compassion and stuff like that for somebody to come up, be open, and be vulnerable. You know what I mean? And then once that is shown, it's a snowball effect. Like we can get into a room right now and tell everybody be open, whoop de whoop de whoop. But we're telling them to do that. We're not showing it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? We have to show that they have to feel comfortable. You got to lead by example. And in our community, it's a lot of people that lack empathy. It's a lot of people that lack compassion. There's a lot of people that lack understanding. There's a lot of people that lack grace. There's a lot of people that lack growth. So it's gonna take a while for sure. But I think in our generation, it's starting with our generation. So it's gonna take time for real.
it's
Agreed.
definitely true. This next generation, man, they definitely need some mentors, someone to look up to.
Proper
Cause
guidance.
yes, cause man, it's tough. Like I never thought I'd be a mentor. I'm getting old and I don't like it. But nah, though, like we have to we have to pour into them. Like we have to. Whether it's just two or three in your community, I look at everybody as a world because you got to think we're three different worlds because we have three different audiences that's connected to us, right? So if you impact one person, you impact somebody's world, they can create and begin to impact someone else. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if we, I think how we view each other plays a part too. If I view you as somebody important, I would treat you as such. But I think we have to realign our priorities. Getting money is not the priority because when you die, you can't take it with you. Not saying you gotta live broke. Not saying that, but don't focus so much on it
Yeah.
because that's gonna drain you. We all then ran into some money on this podcast, so I mean, it was cool, right? But when you look at it, you like, dang, I'm still missing something though. So that's just my
Yeah,
take on that.
that's what we were just talking about, like the whole survival thing. Like when you're just chasing money, you're just used to that survival because you're not used to money.
Yep.
So all you want to do is get it as much as you can. Um, so to get our culture like out of that mindset is definitely difficult to do because I'm one of those people that feel like we're put in this position by design, uh, and it's getting worse but better at the same time, in my opinion. Uh, but dads being in the home, that always comes back to what helps fix our households, which help fix our like community. Uh, so dads, Don't leave your baby mamas right now.
Yeah.
Stick with them unless you want to grow with more people like you. or but that awareness, I don't know how can we get people like us to be more aware. How, I don't know.
Aware as far as what?
As far as anything, like, or as far as like the conversation we're having right now, like
Mental health.
that a lot, yeah, mental health, and then more specifically like the survival thing, like how our mindset is so based on the survival part of life, that we can't think about how there's so much more to life and things that matter than just money, like how Big A was saying.
Well, for certain people to get out of survival thinking, they have to get out the survival part. Because honestly, if you still worry about your bills every day, you're gonna be worried about your bills. But if I go towards the spiritual realm, the spiritual part of this, if you give everything to God anyway, because you know He's gonna work everything out, that's one relief off your back. But people aren't thinking that. They're thinking, I have bills to pay, I have kids to feed, I'm in survival mode. Like, it's just something that this is to protect us really. But as far as to get them aware, like you can get them aware. Like you can tell them, like, yeah, you're in survival mode right now, which makes sense. But for them to get out of it, it's gonna take effort, a lot of effort for them to change their perspective on how they should view life and how they should go about it, which is the hard part. I think growth in general is very hard because it's nothing but effort. You have to change your perspective a lot. A lot of how we was thinking when we grew up, it takes a lot. And I know from experience. And as far as like people that's like older than us that's still like mad at the world and unhappy because of how they grew up and never changed their way of thinking, it's just a wound too. So it's just really just talking to people. But you could talk to somebody all day. They still got to put the effort in.
Yeah, I feel like you don't get nowhere with people though. That's the worst part. That's why I be I be leaving people alone for real, because I'm like, once I see that you're just like, because some people, they'll be aware but they're okay with what they're doing. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
a lot of those people.
And
Yeah,
that's the worst. I'm like, what? Like, why are you accepting this? Like, and then they let it pull the whole, you don't understand, and da 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 da. I'm like, you acting like people need to understand like how uh somebody said this to me. I can't remember who said it. It was like one of my bosses back in the day that really it really impacted the way I thought and went about things, because they told me, they was like, you are not unique. Like something was happening to me. I can't remember what it was. Something work wise, and I was bitching about it. And I was like, well, this because of this, and they're like, you are not unique. Like it's happening to everybody. So you gotta fix it or whatever. It's not just you. And I feel like more people need to develop that mindset in the world, like, because like how you said, we all got our own little worlds. Everybody had a shitty childhood, but like it just matters how you take that and how you move forward with it. You can use it as motivation, or you can use it as a way to be depressed. And I feel like that is literally a simple choice. So if you can tell that someone just wants to choose that victim mentality, then I'm like, all right, well, I can't really talk to you because you're not even trying.
yeah. So it's like a woe is me script. Like they just stuck in that script,
Hmm.
and everybody has a story, literally. Some has worse stories than other people, but everybody done been through something. But you take
Which
that, like you said, take that story and make it something more powerful.
I think people stay in the woe is me because for people, being the victim is where they get their security. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I can sit in my feelings and nobody else understands or can relate, that's safe to me. You know what I'm saying? That makes me feel comfortable.
It
And when I
validates.
step, yeah, it validates me. If I have to validate me, then that's fine. So it causes them to have that mindset. But I think people lack hope. When you
Mm-hmm.
take hope away from some people or hope from people, you're going to see that they're just okay with chaos when you
Yeah.
take hope away. You know what I'm saying? And also, it comes with trial and error. Like for myself, at one point I was on top of the world, and then I allowed myself to create this fictional mindset. You know what I'm saying? This non-fictional mindset, and I end up losing everything. Um, I played "Woe Is Me" for a while, but that was only because I was hurt and I didn't have the language to express that. So sometimes when you want to blame some people, I think we the first ones to blame ourselves. So we carry all of that around. But I think ultimately we have to have more gratitude. You have more gratitude, you'll start coming out of the survival mode. Yes, bills are coming in and you paying them, and you might be a single mom or a single father. Things are tight, but listen, you're alive. You may have a car, you may not, but you still can get around. You still can eat. You still got a roof over your head. So I think even if you don't have all of those things, you still have life, which means you still have another chance. So I think the more we can look in our life and say, I need to have more gratitude in this area, I think it would begin to shine a light on the darker areas and bring things back to a more joyful type of feeling and thing or reality for people. So that's just how I feel on that.
That's real true. I like that though, because a lot of people aren't grateful enough in our everyday. Not until they go without, and then they're like, "Oh man, I know." Like you never know what you had till it's gone. Like you know. Um,
It be needed though. I think that's the best way. Like growing up as a kid, you ain't gonna know. They tell you it's hot, but you gonna find out for yourself it's hot. So don't touch the stove, it's hot. You touch it, now you know. So I think sometimes it's good that we kind of fall on our face sometimes. Because I mean, we gotta learn.
Yeah,
Got
I
to.
just feel like it's part of growing. It builds
Yeah.
resilience. You
Yeah.
lost it, you got it back. So if it happens again, you know you all right. You done been through the challenge already.
got
Hmm.
experience.
You can remain
Yes.
grounded. You can remain calm. Life is gonna work itself out.
Hmm.
But that's what well, Alan, you'll probably love this answer, but I think that's what people will be more grateful if they experience more grounding, and I feel like that's why it's good for people, especially like us, to go to church because that's like that weekly grounding to bring you back to like where you need to be spiritually and how you need to how you feel and how you act and how you're carrying out yourself on a daily basis because there's so many distractions and that's by design. I feel like uh, that's made to distract us from what's actually important, like showing gratitude and stuff like that, and being grateful for life itself. So, if people like better their relationship with God and stuff like that, then we wouldn't be as distracted and as caught up in all these things. So,
Can I put my y'all done brought
go ahead.
Christ in, so I gotta talk now. I can't.
Yeah, of course.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I mean, we was talking about this at church yesterday. The words of Christ, they bring eternal life. When you actually read on the teachings of Christ, um, he actually teaches you how to love, how to forgive, and how to be a better person on this earth. But ultimately, he teaches you how to, when life is said and done, how to be where he is. And I think having a relationship with Christ, it's going to show you the ugly parts of you. And that's not going to be comfortable. It's going to teach you how to submit. It's going to teach you how to obey. It's going to teach you how to be disciplined in areas you don't want to be disciplined in. And I think what people don't realize about church and Christ is they feel like it's just a rule book of what to do and what not to do. But it's not a rule book, it's a life book. Because Christ is not afraid that you doubt, that you fear, that you don't believe. He's not afraid of none of that. He just wants you to come to him so he can help you work that out. And I think we don't want to do that. Because first of all, we don't want to be told what we're enjoying is not okay for us. So we do need to have the relationship with the creator. Because if you think about it, imagine a heart and a little bitty hole in your heart, only he can fill. You're going to try to put everything you can in that hole, and it's not going to fulfill that hole. It's always going to be this little bitty void that only he can fill. And I think sometimes, even if you talk to people who are billionaires, they could probably be like, I still feel like I'm missing something. And it could be a relationship with the creator. It's like having
Mhm.
a child. Your child is always going to be close to you because you came from them, right? They always going to want to be held by you, be loved by. It don't matter how hard you whoop them, they still gonna love you because all they know is you. They trust you. They don't see no bad things about you. They see good things about you. And when we have that mindset about Christ, this world will be a better place. But some people are hurt. Some people look at Christians as judgmental, and I hate that. So if anybody's watching this and you feel like Christians are judgmental, please, first of all, I'm sorry, and please ignore that and find Christ for yourself, because we're not Christ. We need to be versions of Him, but we're not Christ. So that's all I got to say. I'm exiting out of my little pastoral role. I'm done. I'm done.
Now I feel like that was some good stuff though.
I'm like, wait a minute now. Pastor
Oh,
Allen
this is
gave,
my kids,
I ain't even
huh?
hear nothing. Nothing.
Cause when you somewhere by yourself, my kids want to peep through the door and just kind of see they nosy, bro. That's what I was looking like. I was trying to tell them to leave without opening my mouth.
They just want to see what you doing. Who you on the phone with?
No, sometimes daddy need a break. That's another thing too. Fathers, man. Mothers too. We're not gonna sit here and act like the mothers don't have a great responsibility. Fathers do too. And I think everyone needs a space to open up, man. Everyone, especially single mothers. They got to deal with being a mom and a dad.
And that space is not Facebook.
Please, no. It's not social media at all.
Yeah, for
It's a,
sure.
a real community. Cause not no immature. Cause sometimes, man, people friends can be so immature. So immature. You gotta find you For a woman, you got to find your woman who's not afraid to deal with your weaknesses and stay and hold your hand through the hard times. And therefore, a man, he got to be Jane. I think his name is Jason Williams. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look up his book if I can real quick.
Now I'm interested.
It's called The Man, the Moment Demands. Jason Wilson.
He
That
laughed at
is
us.
a huh?
No,
You
I'm
know,
laughing at this message I just got, but go ahead. My bad.
It's a great book. You should read it, the Don, if you want to understand how men should think and operate. He's a guy that had the interview with Cam Newton. I don't know if y'all it was going around.
I'm not hit, but Cam Newton kind of get on my nerves these days. I ain't gonna lie.
but hold on, the man. Is he old with a beard? Am I tripping? Is that him?
Glasses, bald
Yeah,
head.
yeah. So,
Yes,
smart.
yes.
So I might
He
read.
cold. Yeah, he's cold. But that book, I said, oh my gosh. Yeah, he cold. He cold. I'm telling you. Every man should get that book. It's fire.
I'm about to look into it.
So what did we learn today, guys? How to hold spaces for people to be vulnerable.
All right. Yeah. Be a safe space for people.
Yeah,
Be a
and
safe space.
men taking time to, I don't know, realize that they need a safe space. I feel like men don't even realize that they need that sometimes. Like they're just so conditioned to what they are.
I'm gonna
Hmm.
say this: pick partners, females, whatever y'all want to date. Well, Alan's married. That can hold that space for you. literally,
Most definitely.
because it was
Most
suck
definitely.
being with somebody that can't hold that. So
I
Or
don't. I
if
feel
you
like
are
in
with
a.
that person, go
I
ahead.
feel like my bad, bro.
No, you good. You good.
I feel like men. I feel like you shouldn't. How do I say? And it's probably this is just me in the way I feel. I feel like you should find that space with another guy and not your woman
that's not true.
because women, women like the whole shit against you. Like I ain't gonna lie to
I'm
you.
saying the wrong woman though. Find the right woman that can hold
That's
that.
true. But I'm talking about until then. We can't just wait and wait and wait until we find the right woman to and then you got all the shit build up and then you're not even right for that woman probably. But I'm just saying in the meantime, because you get unfortunately, you get in and out of relationships, but like your friends are the ones that are constant in your life. So that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like first men need to be able to find men in their life to have that space so they're healthy already. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Yeah, yeah, because I mean you're single, so whoever you come past is whatever. But always walk away from somebody that can't hold that space, relationship wise. But definitely have that as far as friends, um, your male friends. Just be aware of that because I just think it's just needed. It's just needed. Period. We hold spaces for people. You should have that same thing reciprocated to you. And I feel like as far as relationships is definitely needed. Period. I shouldn't be with somebody that I'm at a 90 and they're at a 30 to hold a safe space for me because they're going to do nothing but bring up my wounds with all that 30%. So that's just something that people should be aware of when they're dating and friends in general. So
Well, I'm gonna say like being married. I mean, you kind of do want your wife to be your best friend,
Definitely.
cause at the end of the day, ain't nobody else obligated to you other than I'm speaking for me. Ain't nobody else obligated to you but your wife, if she chooses to be.
yeah.
Because when y'all stood at the altar, y'all said, I do, for richer, for poor, for better or for worse. Which means what? We made a vow to each other. We made a covenant agreement to each other. So I do agree you should have that male friend because you can't tell your woman everything. You have to use wisdom because they can't hold everything you hold.
Right.
So um that we're just all wired different like that. Some things we can't hold like women can hold. So but if you do have a friend and you are married, your friend needs to know the boundaries. Your friend needs to give space for you and your spouse to work things out because they can't always be in the middle. That's where
Oh yeah,
stuff
don't put them
kind
in
of,
the middle. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
So
where
you
people
should
mess up.
always don't always invite them into your life like that. Some things, because if I'm coming to you about my wife, you don't know my wife. So you really can't give me no advice on how to deal with her because you don't know her tendencies. You may have experience with people like that, and your experience is always valid, but you should want your spouse to be their best friend and um, still have your bros though. Still have your bros for sure. But at the end of the day, that's your woman. Like sometimes we just gotta teach people how to love us.
That part.
We gotta invest the time. So
A lot
yeah,
of time. I think all the time, not even some, because I feel like
yeah, that's true.
in relationships you got to speak up about that, and like
Yeah.
so they can love you properly. Because what you may see as love may not be their definition or whatever. So love
Facts,
languages are different.
facts, facts.
But I do think I feel like going back to the community where I just feel like the community is just so lacking these days because like when you started your response, for example, I feel like a lot of people had that mindset of like if they do open up, they just open up to that girl or whatever. And
Mm,
then unfortunately, a lot of times the woman uses that against them, because a lot of times males deal with some immature women, unfortunately. And then once that happens, they get closed up and they don't want to express themselves ever again because they done got thrown back in their face.
Yeah.
Um, but that's why I think the community part is so important because I feel like everyone is just so these days people don't want community. They kind of just want to do everything on their own. They want to be separated. Like it's not, before like we talked about on the show, like, it takes a village. And I think like the village is so broken these days and people don't really believe in that. So we can't really become as whole and healthy mentally and spiritually because we don't have all that around us like we should. So like, because, we feed off of that and it helps build you up and stuff like that. So I think the more that we are isolated and don't have that like, brotherhood or whatever, or community village, I think it'll just, continue to hurt us.
Most definitely. We can't do this life by ourselves. So we have no strength. But man, this was a great podcast for sure.
For sure. It is about that time. We appreciate you coming on, Big A. If everyone liked the conversation that we had today, do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment, and share, like the ticker says below. Also, give the podcast a follow on Instagram at 3 Takes. Also, if you want to give us a follow individually, Big A at Allen937, Dadon at _sci-fi, and myself at Big Dude Shawnee. We appreciate everyone. Remember to stay positive, stay focused, embrace your journey, but most importantly, stay blessed.
One more thing.
Oh,
before